Hello, this is Scott Berry, and I've got Lucine Aghajanyan and James Pittman with us today. We have a very special episode for you. Um, our goal today is that immigration law firm founders who watch our show and our webinars will get an introduction to Docketwise, and you would be encouraged to learn more about it and perhaps ask for a demo or a free trial because it's a very powerful tool. And I don't think enough immigration attorneys understand how it's used and who it's a good fit for. And so thank you for joining us, James.
Thanks very much, Scott. It's a pleasure to be here.
Lucine, thanks for joining as well.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks, James.
So, James, just want to start by saying we meet hundreds of immigration attorneys throughout the year. And it's always interesting to find out what kind of CRM system they're using or what kind of technical stack that they've been using to make the law firm more effective and efficient. And so I'd like you to just kind of introduce them to Docketwise and why you founded it and some things that maybe they don't understand about the tool and how powerful it is.
Sure, would love to. Well, Docketwise is a unique immigration software. I mean, going back, I co-founded Docketwise. So what makes Docketwise unique really is, in part, it's really unique way of constructing immigration forms. But let me just tell you a little bit of our backstory. So Docketwise arose, I mean, my background is as an immigration lawyer. I was an immigration lawyer in private practice, right? I graduated from Northeastern University School of Law in Boston and had my own firm. And I had a variety, like a very varied practice within immigration law, some family, some removal, some employment based. It was a mix, a little bit of everything, which is how I liked it. And I was approached at one point by a former client of mine whose case I had handled. Came back after his case was over and, had an idea. He was interested in becoming a tech founder and approached me to join as co-founder to provide immigration domain experience for a new immigration software. This was his idea. I immediately was intrigued by the idea. There were some immigration softwares on the market that had been there for a while, but they had various drawbacks. There hadn't been a platform that had been created, which had been really an upgrade to what had been around for a while. A lot of the ones that were out there, I felt and had felt that the space itself was due for an upgrade. And just kind of like a revolution in how an immigration software could feel for an attorney to use it. So I was immediately intrigued with the idea and saw the potential. And so really, I mean, it was really a question of bootstrapping. I mean, we really built it up from scratch as a startup company. The first 10 users were colleagues of mine, friends and contacts, colleagues that I had locally. And I went around literally and just showed them the platform, demo for them, asked them to try it out and give us feedback so that we could continue to develop it. And it went like that. I mean, we were reaching out to people. We were going to conferences, selling the product. And we continued, we had a philosophy, which was to always build what the users want, right? And that involved continuously listening to the pain points, listening to what the immigration lawyers wanted in a software, what features they wanted, what drawbacks they felt existed in the existing platforms, and recording that feedback, taking down that feedback, and building the platform out in that way. And that's how we always did it. And then it just grew and grew and grew, and became ultimately a market leader. Yeah. So it was really a bootstrapping story, and it's been an amazing journey. So that's how it started.
Yeah, so many of our listeners know Lucine because of her relationship as MyCase consultant. There's a relationship between Docketwise, MyCase, and AffiniPay. So will you kind of fill us in on that, kind of put that piece together for
Sure.
us?
So AffiniPay is the parent company, and so in 2022, Docketwise was acquired by MyCase. And then later that year, MyCase and its brands. So by that time, MyCase had purchased a few brands. So it had CasePeer, which is for personal injury lawyers. It had Soluna, which was law firm accounting. Purchased a Docketwise. It had LawPay, And so at that point, MyCase and its brands were acquired by AffiniPay, and we all became part of the AffiniPay family. So that is really, how it came about. So Docketwise is forms and case management for immigration lawyers. So the cornerstone of the product is the most powerful forms technology available for immigration lawyers. And what makes it so powerful is Docketwise is able to, it allows the user to create any combination of forms. You can create as many as you need. And what Docketwise will do is put together all of the questions that are on those forms and make one big unified web questionnaire out of that. So we've got 11 languages at present. And you have multiple ways of sharing the questionnaire with the client to collect so that they can input data from their side. You can input data from your side. They can input data from their side. And that's a huge time savings of time and labor. So there's no redundant data entry, and the staff can make edits and finalize the forms. So that's its forms technology. And it also has case tracking. We have automated case tracking for USCIS cases. Oh, I do want to mention e-filing. We have e-filing of a number of forms. We're always expanding the number of forms that are available for e-filing. We have reporting features where you're able to run reports. We have invoicing. You can create bills. You can create trust requests to put money in the trust account or in the operating account. And you can run various reports. You can run reports on the clients. You can run reports on the status of their cases. You can run reports on your invoicing and payment activity. We have a CRM type feature called Leads, where essentially you can keep the people who are not yet retained clients or you've not yet retained the firm, keep them separate as leads. And you can email them, communicate with them to try to nurture those leads and get them, on board as actual retained clients. And then you convert them, and then it moves from being a lead to an actual contact. So we have auto population of Word documents. So if you're creating templates, you're creating attorney-client agreements, you're creating correspondence, things like that, you can take the data that you've captured through the questionnaires and auto-populate that into Word documents. So those are some of the key features. We have a lot of integrations. It plays nice with a lot of tools. It has integrations with MyCase, with LawPay, obviously, with QuickBooks, has integrations with Google Calendar and Gmail, Outlook Calendar and Outlook Email, has integrations for getting foreign language translations of foreign language documents. We have integration with ImaTranslate, integration with MotiWord. We have integration with Clio. So those are some of the key features.
Yeah, excellent. Super powerful. It's no wonder that MyCase was interested in the business and people were monitoring your success. Lucine's got some questions that she wants to ask as well.
So James, this is a fairly crowded industry. And can you tell us a little bit about how Docketwise is different? Obviously, it includes the case management and form filling and collections, right? So in the industry where there are other softwares that are in the form filling space, I'd say, how is Docketwise different?
Docketwise is different because a number of reasons. First of all, we're the only one that does the form population in the way that we do, where we're actually sort of extracting the questions off of the forms and enabling users to create any combination and get one seamless questionnaire. That's where you save so much time. So there's no redundancy, and you also don't have to send multiple questionnaires. With Docketwise, you're going to get one questionnaire, and that's true whether you're creating one government form or whether you're creating, multiple 7, 8, 9 or more government forms all in one. You can get one unified questionnaire. So that's one of the key differences. The multilingual support, the ability to the robust client portal. It's also the UX and UI on Docketwise. I mean, we've really taken pains to make it easy to navigate and avoid it being a crowded or difficult to use interface. This was a problem with some of the other products that were on the market, have been on the market, is that a lot of people just didn't like using them very much because it was kind of hard to figure out how to do things. Staff would have a hard time getting trained up, and there would be inefficiencies, and then they wouldn't want to use it, or they wouldn't use it to its full capacity because it was confusing. We always really went out of our way to make Docketwise very streamlined, very easy to use, keep the interface clean. I mean, we have an outstanding customer success team who's really on the ball and really is engaged with listening to our users and responding to their concerns. I mean, the way that we draw up the product roadmap and determine which features we're going to add really has to do with what users are requesting. So every request is tracked. But what I'm saying is that process of how, and we've always done it that way from the beginning, is we decide what to add, what features to develop based on what people are asking for. So that's allowed us to grow and be the product that people want to. And another thing is just the integrations of being part of the AffiniPay family. That enables us, it gives us tremendous leverage because we have the wherewithal and the resources of a company like AffiniPay to bring to bear on what we're doing in Docketwise, and that's whether it's developing our features or maintaining a high level of customer service. We're always looking to expand that, and also offer deals in terms of our companion products, and also the resources we can bring to bear in terms of creating community around the product. I mean, we strive to also inform people with some of our community building activities in my podcast, Immigration Uncovered, our newsletter, our excellent immigration blog. So those are just a few of the distinguishing features, and that's been the cornerstone of the success.
Everybody talks about AI, the functionality. So any insight as to what value that feature may bring in near future?
Well, we have a wait list that people can get on the wait list, and our AI features for Docketwise specifically are in development and moving closer and closer to being ready to deploy. But we have three main aspects of it in its first iteration. One's going to be the optical character recognition. So that means like you would be able to scan in a document and it would be able to recognize the data that's on there, extract that, and that would populate the client profile and in turn be available to populate the form. So automated extraction and population of data from documents. The second one would be document summaries. So if you have lengthy documentation that you want AI to summarize for you so you can quickly get to the key points and then figure out what to focus more on, we'll have that ability as well. And then also the text editing. You want to write correspondence, but you would like a little bit of AI assistance to make it maybe you're trying to figure out how to express certain thoughts in a concise way with a certain tone. That's where AI is really good with things like that. You have something delicate you want to address in a piece of client correspondence, and you want to make sure you hit all the points, but you also want to strike a certain tone with a client. AI is very good for that. It's also very good at coming up with draft communications and saving a lot of time with making draft communications for different types of communication. So that will be part of it as well.
That would be incredible. That will save a lot of time, and especially for document summaries. I can imagine how grateful the immigration attorneys are going to be that have thousands of pages of FOIA reviews to be done for the AI to do it. So what type of immigration law firms would be the ideal fit for Docketwise? Would that be employment-based? Law firms, removal defense, family, humanitarian, all of the above? Is there anything specific for a certain area of this practice that would benefit from Docketwise more than others?
Any immigration lawyer, or any lawyer that's doing immigration, even if you did one immigration case every few months, it would still make sense to subscribe to Docketwise. The price would still be right. You would still get the value out of it. We always wanted to make sure that Docketwise was a scalable product and was good for solos and small firms, and also good for larger firms or immigration practice groups within a larger organization. It's any immigration lawyer. It is a scalable product. You can have as many user licenses as you need. And if you are a larger entity or you have offices in multiple locations, we have our top tier, and we have the ability for you to have user groups with varying levels of permissions as well as branches. So you can separate things, like if you have, let's say, a New York office and a Miami office or what have you, you can, organize your contacts and matters according to which branch is serving them. And that just helps you filter it. So not everyone has to see data which they are not directly working on day to day. And then you can have group permissions as well, where, certain employees who are working on certain types of things would have exclusive access to certain, certain content or certain material on the platform. So really any immigration lawyer.
Excellent. Well, I also know that a lot of practitioners and the support staff really enjoy some of the features that are available on Docketwise. So there are a lot of features that are available that will save time and make things more efficient. Now, going back to MyCase and Docketwise, right? So now more and more law firms have access to, or gaining access to both in the same environment, MyCase environment. So can you talk to us a little bit about how that would work, and if client would need both, would they need to pay for both? Is there going to be special rate? What could they anticipate?
They can certainly use Docketwise for all case management and invoicing features, but for firms that already have MyCase, or for firms that are handling multiple areas of practice, which is quite common, especially you have firms doing family law and immigration, or immigration and criminal defense, or whatever combination it is, they may want to have a general case management. They often want to have a general case management platform that they use for their practice management functionalities, of which MyCase is an outstanding choice. MyCase has very, very robust practice management features with a lot of ability to customize and so forth in the reports and things like that. So if they are already using MyCase, and then they can use Docketwise for the immigration piece and activate the integration. Now, as far as pricing and that sort of thing, I mean, we run various specials and various discounts. I leave that to our dedicated sales department. In terms of how the integration works, so it's a syncing of contact details. So contact attributes like the client's first name, last name, email address, their address, their phone numbers, etc. Those get synced between Docketwise and MyCase, and the matter name, or the case name, case description, and the contacts associated with the case. Those are synced each way. And there are special rules for, when you first activate the integration. If you have some contacts in MyCase and you don't have them in Docketwise, they'll come over to Docketwise. If you have them in Docketwise but don't have them in MyCase, whether or not they come over, there's various sort of rules or guidelines that we follow for which ones get initially, ported to the other platform or shared, and then, following that, it's sort of whichever side you create them in, they get created in the other side, in the other platform, the other product. Now, also the forms itself, if you create forms on Docketwise, those finished forms can be pushed over to MyCase to store them. So that's available as well, because that's a natural, if you're using MyCase as your principal practice management, but you're creating forms on Docketwise, you're going to want to store those over on MyCase as well. So we have a way of just pushing those over and storing them on MyCase. And then I mentioned that the add-on, which is coming out in the coming pretty soon, coming month or a couple of months, is going to enable MyCase users to create forms in Docketwise directly from the MyCase dashboard. So you'll be able to open up a module and create forms while you're in your MyCase dashboard, but using Docketwise's functionality. Yeah, that's coming.
Awesome. So if someone wants to experience Docketwise or MyCase with Docketwise, what would be the steps for them to take without really signing up for software from the get-go?
Well, first thing, definitely have a demo, which you schedule on our website, right? So Docketwise.com, and there's a very prominent scheduling button. Book yourself a demo with our team, and they will walk you through the platform. Then we offer a 7-day free trial. We're happy to give you the week to look at it, and that's the most convenient way. There's a lot of information available on the site. The pricing, the features, all of that is on the site. There's a help center with articles about all of the features, and so on, and a lot of videos available as well, illustrating how to use the features. They're available in the help center there. They're also available on the Docketwise YouTube channel. But book a demo would be the first thing to do.
Excellent. That's really exciting. And James, nowadays, what are you up to personally, and how can someone find you and talk to you and keep tabs on you, so to speak?
I just came back from sabbatical, so I was away for a couple of weeks, went to Vietnam. It's a country I've always wanted to visit. So that was what I did most recently. But I enjoy traveling. I really love traveling and have been in a lot of different parts of the world. I enjoy, being active. I'm into rowing and working out and things like that. I like to spend time outdoors, and that's, I follow what's going on in the world and the country pretty closely. I work a lot on my podcast. I have my Immigration Uncovered podcast where I discuss, it's actually a very broad scope, and this is also how people can follow me, is Immigration Uncovered. And we post the episodes. We have a landing page. We also post the episodes on the Docketwise YouTube channel, and it's also on Apple Podcasts and so on. But it's a broad range of topics that we cover. So not only do we talk about the business side of immigration law, meaning marketing and branding for immigration lawyers and practice management. We talk about technology for immigration lawyers and also legal tech in general. But we also do talk about immigration law and policy changes there. So I've kept it, really broad to where it's everything that immigration lawyers want to hear about and would be interested in following. So Immigration Uncovered is a podcast. You can also follow me on LinkedIn. I post a lot on LinkedIn. Search James Pittman, Docketwise. You'll find me. But that's pretty much what I've been up to.
Excellent.
Excellent. So just a closing word for those immigration founders, law firm founders that are watching this. Lucine and I have learned from all of our years working with immigration law firms that you can't double, triple, quadruple in size without having the systems and the processes for you to be efficient and effective. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit of the Wild West and chaotic, and that's not the type of law firm that you want to build. So we've introduced you today to Docketwise, a solution that you should go look at first. And you've heard from James Pittman, who is a co-founder of Docketwise. And thanks for sharing how people can follow you, James, because if I'm listening to you this whole time, that's exactly what I'm thinking is, how do I follow this guy? Because he seems to have his finger on the pulse. So just, if you don't mind, summarize one more time the easiest way for people to find you online and follow you.
Yeah, so they can just search James Pittman Docketwise LinkedIn, and you'll find me. You can email me, james@docketwise.com, if you have any difficulty finding it. Also follow my podcast, which is Immigration Uncovered, and that has its own landing page. So you can search Immigration Uncovered podcast, but you can also get there through the Docketwise YouTube channel.
That's wonderful. And how great it is to be successful as a practitioner, someone that's developed technology, someone that can give insights, be up to date and share. So thank you so much, James, for everything that you do. That's a lot of valuable information always comes out of this sessions, CLEs, and there's just a lot of learning to do every day. We're learning something new. So appreciate that. And thank you for passing it on to everyone that's listening. Thank you all.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
Yes, and James Pittman is a wonderful thought leader. Make sure you're following him on all the social medias. Check out his podcast. James, thank you for joining us today. Lucine as well. We appreciate you guys, and have a great day.
Thank you very much.